Noel Gallagher is here talking about Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Good to see you again, my friend.
Thank you very much.
A fantastic new album, Who Built the Moon, on tour. All the tour dates at noelgallagher.com. I follow your Instagram, The Mighty Eye.
Right.
There seems to be something about Matthew McConaughey that you quite enjoy. And usually there's some shirtless photos. And so did it start with all right, all right, all right? I mean, where did it start with Matthew McConaughey?
I met him recently at a wedding, and he f***ing blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. The topless thing is just for my wife.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, we had we had a good couple of days in Brazil, of all places.
Yeah.
And he came to see us play, and then we went to a friend's wedding, and I can tell you it was quite the thing.
Really?
Mm.
He's making better movies now too, isn't he?
I've no idea.
No, you haven't
No,
seen.
I've seen The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
that. And I'm going to get all his films for Christmas though.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because he's a dude, man.
Also on your Instagram, a lot of photos with the guys in U2 on the Joshua Tree tour.
Oh yeah.
And so just tell me about being on the road with those guys.
They have, and we had the most fun that you could wring out of a stadium tour ever. It was great. On the last day, if they would have said we're going to add another 30 dates, you have to put your album back a year, I probably would have done it.
Right.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was great to be part of it. Honestly, it was great.
Yeah. Well, you were a young boy in 1987 when that album came out, the Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Do you remember when that came out? Were you a big fan then?
Yeah. I've been a fan of them there since New Year's Day, not last New Year's Day.
The album.
Since when New Year's Day came out, and no, I'm a fan. Yeah, and then in when Oasis put their first album out, we met them one night out in London,
right?
And we became firm friends. We've been friends for over 20 odd years now, and they're some of the greatest people ever, I've got to say.
I always wanted to plug in a guitar to Edge's pedal rack, to his rig, just to play some of those sounds. Yeah, his rig is like the size of a building, isn't it?
I've never actually seen it. If you go underneath their stage,
oh yeah.
He's got a guitar tech called Dallas who's very enthusiastic about this rig, but yeah, it's just a load of pedals to me, I think. But it's not really my thing. But he's one of the greatest guitar players ever. So
I've listened to this whole album, and have you ever seen a band where they come out with a new album and all they do, like the first time you see them, is they play the entire album in its entirety, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But with this album, I listen to it, I'm like, I want to hear every song on those albums front to back, straight through.
Well, I was on a long flight here yesterday, and I was putting together some kind of provisional set list for the tour. I was writing down all the songs we were going to play, and I looked at it and I thought, I'm actually going to play them all, which is a first. But yeah, it's a trip for sure. It's fairly different to what I'm known for, and I think people. I think when it finally comes out, people are going to really like it.
The opening track, is it Fort Knox? I think is the opening track. There's an interesting story about the girl singing on that song, right?
YC,
yeah.
She was wandering in a market in London buying jewellery, and the woman, or the one who sold her the jewellery, said, "What do you do?" And she said, "I'm a singer trying to get into the music business." And this woman said, or this person, it could have been a man, I don't know, said, "Oh, I've got a friend who's in the music business. He's making a record at the minute. I think they're looking for singers." And to cut a long story short, she arrived at the studio and she seen me and thought it was like some reality TV joke.
Right, yeah.
She was kind of looking for the cameras.
Yeah.
She came in and she sang on a few tracks. She's actually going to come on tour with me next year.
Oh, great.
And she's beautiful and amazing, and she's going to blow people's minds. Yeah.
And another thing I noticed about this album is, at first I was like, is that Noel singing? You seem to be really singing sort of at a different level on this album than the previous albums.
Yeah, well, it was written in the studio, which is not something I've ever done before. Usually I sit at home and kind of, chip away at a song and kind of craft it. And for this particular record, producer David said, let's write it in the studio and let's just see where it takes us. So some of the melodies are not really what you would associate with me, but it was such a blast doing it, really kind of fascinating, and there was a spirit of adventure. And for instance, songs were born out of conversations, like Fort Knox was born out of a conversation about Kanye West, and that's, it's kind of songs that were born out of conversations about Blondie, and the producer would say, well, why don't you write a song for Blondie? I was like, okay, I'll do that. So it was brilliant.
And the first single, Holy Mountain, is that a love song to the wife?
If I'm writing a song about about a girl or a woman, then whatever I'm projecting, I will project it onto my wife, yeah, for sure. But it's about your wife, or yours. But I guess, yeah.
I got to tell you, that song, Holy Mountain, to me, that's the rock and roll star of this album.
Oh,
to me, that's like a concert opener.
You should come work for me. It is actually the first song in the set.
Is it really?
Yeah. But no, it was one of the first things that that I completed for the project was that song, and that kind of set the benchmark. The riff is so annoying.
It sticks in your head.
It's so annoying. It had to be the first single. But my children loved it the minute they heard it. And they're like 10 and 7, and I was like, I must be onto something here if these guys are into it.
I want to ask you that. When you get, a bunch of songs done, do you bring them home and play them loud?
Absolutely not.
Never?
No, my wife is the harshest critic ever.
Really?
Yeah, my wife up until this point, every time she heard a song by me, would kind of treat it like it was a 7-year-old writing his first song. She'd say, oh, did you write that? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And I kind of like, all right. And my youngest is a worse critic than she is.
And she's 6 or 7.
He
He
is 7. He came on tour with us this year, and we were on the road with U2. And on the first night, we played in the stadium, like 70,000 people. And then we went out front to watch U2. And after about 30 seconds of Bono singing, he took off his ear defenders and said, he's much better than you.
Oh, God, that's rough.
And I was like, oh. I had to took his laminate off him, kicked him out.
Yeah, they're right, yeah. How about their music? Do you ever comment on what they like to listen to?
No, they're quite urban. They wear baseball caps the wrong way around and all that kind of thing.
Are they all about the headphones now, or do they actually play stuff on speakers, like through their computer? Or?
They've got iPads and all that kind of thing, so they're downloading all sorts of nonsense. They're into grime at the minute, Stormzy and Skepta, and they're like a bit of old school hip hop.
Okay, yeah.
I can't say it's my thing.
They sound like normal kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
normal little lads, yeah.
Getting back to Holy Mountain, is there a fife being played on that song?
No, it's a little tin whistle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's playing it, somebody's playing it in the video, right?
There is somebody miming it in the video, but somebody actually played it in the studio. Charlotte didn't play it.
Okay,
the girl in the cape didn't play it. She plays the scissors.
Yeah, so Jules Holland, I mean, I'm thinking scissors being played in front of a camera, in front of a microphone. The sound's got to be pretty good. I mean, it looks a little strange, but...
It sounded great in my headphones. I mean, how that came about was we were rehearsing, and Charlotte, does this in one of the tracks. There's a section of a song that's French spoken word, and we were doing that song on Jules Holland, and I said to her, because that bit doesn't come in for a couple of minutes, can you play a tambourine so you're not stood around doing anything? And she said, dismissively, like French people do, she kind of said, I will not play the tambourine. And I said, oh, okay, well, shakers? And she said, no. And I said, well, what are you going to play? And she said, I can play the scissors. And when she kind of popped them out and started playing them, I thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. And I thought, she's the only scissor player in the world, and she has to be in my band from now on. And she wears a cape, and she's French, and it literally doesn't get any better than that.
No. You know what I love on the album is Black, White Sunshine.
Black and White Sunshine, yeah.
Really good song.
Yeah.
Where does that fall in the set?
That will be in the first half, I think, at the minute. It could all change. But that, again, was one of the first things that we did, and it's got kind of a a West Coast psychedelic feel. It sounds a bit like the Stones in places.
Yeah.
But it's got pretty good lyrics, and it will blow your minds. There's no two ways about it.
I want to ask you about Damon Albarn. You were on the latest Gorillaz album.
Oh, yeah.
The song "We've Got the Power."
Yeah.
But you guys hang out, right? I mean,
From time to time, yeah.
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 So that must have been fun.
That was great. Yeah, I've been in the studio with different people, and you kind of learn different things, and it was great watching Gorillaz at work, seeing how they come up with that kind of stuff. And it was funny and fascinating, and the tune that I ended up being on, I love it. I love that song. Yeah, I'm going to do some shows with them when I get back to England next week, actually.
I have to ask you about the documentary Supersonic. What did you think?
I loved it, or I wouldn't have been in it. I loved it, yeah. I devoted 22 hours of my life to doing the interviews, and it was great. And I didn't realise what a great story that first period of Oasis was, you know, and it was great to relive the glory years before it all got a bit silly and messy. And it was great.
How about some of that? I mean, some of the footage they found was like incredible.
I remember saying to the researcher very early on in a meeting, because it was all pre-mobile phones and stuff, I said, you won't find any footage anywhere. And he said, oh no, we'll find it. And I said, no, because you couldn't, because that would mean there would have been a guy in a room with a camera this big, and I would remember. And of course, fast forward about a year, and there's like 70 hours of people in the dressing room with this, that. And I'm looking at this
from VHS tapes and
I was
stuff.
Just thinking, I have no recollection of any of this. I don't remember any of it, and I'm so glad it was captured on film. But it's a great story, you know, from signing off Social Security to walking on stage at Nebworth was 2.5 years, you know, and I've had parties that last longer than that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Ewan McGregor really liked it.
Good.
He said, I'm so happy, I'm so sad, I want to go back.
I think we'd all like to go back to the 90s to, you know, relive our waist sizes. But, you know, we can't. So we should always move forward, I think.
I watched the video for Don't Look Back in Anger from the Manchester Arena show you did when you reopened the arena. Tell me about that night. It seems like it was very emotional.
It was, yeah. It was very emotional, but there was a lot of joy in the room as well. And in that particular moment, singing Don't Look Back in Anger, you know, I said it many times, but you, as a songwriter, you live for those moments where the entire room is with you. And it's just such a shame that moment will be forever tinged with such sadness. You know, you're kind of still playing, thinking, "Well, this is incredible." But another part of you is thinking, "Well, we all wish it had never taken place at all." But you know, we did it. We did the victims and the survivors proud. And
there's a memorial that you're building.
I think so. Yeah. And you know, we all look to the future now, and I hope it never happens again. You know.
Yeah. One silly question. If you could have dinner or drinks with anyone, dead or alive, who would that be?
That is a good question. Drinks or dinner with anyone, dead or alive? I would like Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
But he's alive.
That's all right.
Yeah.
And then Bob Dylan. Dead, probably John Lennon, I suppose. But Conor McGregor, I'd love to go out on the piss with Conor McGregor. That would be unbelievable. Don't you find him otherworldly? It's like he's not one of us. He's like he's come from another planet.
What will happen first? A Smiths reunion, an Oasis reunion, or the Second Coming?
The Second Coming, I would have thought. I don't think there'll be a Smiths reunion, and I know for a fact there won't be an Oasis reunion, so I'm afraid the Second Coming of the Lord is what you've all got to look forward to.
He is Noel Gallagher and the High Flying Birds, the new album, Who Built the Moon. Check out the tour dates right now, noelgallagher.com. Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos from your favorite artist. And while you're here, check out these other videos.